I chose Terry Date. He's from Ohio, but in 1975 he studied at the University of Idaho. While he was at the University of Idaho, he started working for a radio station called KUOI. There he recorded impromptu recordings of local coffee house bands, and he did the Sunday evening jazz program. In 1979 he moved to Seattle to study at the Eastern Washington State University, and once in Washington he started working at a bunch of local clubs, trying to get a feel for the talent that was circulating at that time. He saw an ad for a studio while he was in Seattle, and the studio closed every day at 5 o'clock. And so he struck up a conversation with the manager and owner of the studio, and in the conversation he slipped in, "Do you mind if I come in after you close and record these bands that I've found on the scene?" He explained to him how passionate he was about wanting to record, and how all he needed was to find a place to record to really get a start in the industry. And the owner gave him the keys on the spot. Terry Dates worked with a number of really popular artists, from Soundgarden to Dream Theater to Pantera and the Deftones, and even did a White Zombie album. Recently, in the past couple of years, he recorded The Fall of Troy. He did Loaded, which is by a guy named Duff McKagan, who was originally in Guns N' Roses, and then later in Velvet Revolver. And then in 2013, he did Bring Me the Horizon. He's very technical, having made his way up through the recording and mixing side of the industry. He's kind of hands-off in dealing with the band. He'll let them go into the studio, do their own thing, hash out problems or sounds that they want in between themselves, and he'll step in whenever he needs to step in. And if he has to put something on, a track, say an EQ or a reverb or something, he'll do it later, and he won't necessarily waste studio time to do it. He's more about capturing the moment of how the band is and how they're interacting. I chose him because I love Pantera. I'm from Texas, and so I'm actually just north of where Pantera got their start. And while listening to these albums, I never knew who produced, and never really thought about who was the producer, or gave any thought to anything other than this is Pantera. This is awesome and who they are. And then once I actually started to research who did these albums, I came across Terry Date, and I realized that he did not only Cowboys from Hell, but he did The Great Southern Trendkill, he did Vulgar Display of Power, he did all of these amazing albums. And then seeing that he did those, it led me to other bands. I'm like, holy crap, he did this one too? He did Soundgarden, he did, the Deftones, he did so many of these amazing albums that you wouldn't associate him with. And having seen that, that's why I chose him.